What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing like the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, let's do this. This is This Week in Boxing, episode 2. Let's do the results first. Let's go over to America. Heavyweight action. Adam Kalnacki beat Chris Arreola. This one went to points. I didn't expect that. I thought Adam Kalnacki might get Arreola out of there. He was talking a big game this week that he wanted to stop Arreola a lot quicker than Wilder did. That didn't happen. I know that Arreola's tough, but let's be honest, this isn't the Arreola of 4 or 5 years ago. So kind of disappointing that it went to points, but nonetheless, it was an action-packed fight. This fight actually broke the record, the CompuBox record for punches thrown by heavyweights. More action. Jean Pascal beat Marcus Brown. Somewhat of a shock. The fight was actually stopped though in the 8th round due to a cut that Marcus Brown sustained, so it went to the scorecards, and Pascal was ahead on the scorecards at the time. He got 3 knockdowns in that fight, so he won. I think they're going to maybe have to rewind and do this one again. It's strange, right, because Marcus Brown benefited from a cut that Badu Jack got in his last fight, and now he's on the receiving end with his own cut. I haven't watched this fight, but I watched highlights of it, and it did look like Pascal was starting to get a bit tired. So I wonder if Marcus Brown would have started to started to claw back some of those early knockdowns in the later rounds. So they're going to have to maybe do that one again. This guy I never heard of, and I'm a bit embarrassed because he's a Nigerian. I should know a bit about him, I guess. But Wale Omotosu stopped Curtis Stevens in the 3rd round. 3 knockdowns as well in that fight, all by Omotosu. This fight, though, was at 154 pounds. I mean, come on. Curtis Stevens started his career at light heavyweight. We know him now as a middleweight and a super middleweight guy, but 154 pounds. How is it you're coming to the end of your career and you're thinking you can lose more weight? Shame. Michael Conlan stops Diego Alberto Ruiz in the 9th round to take his record to 12-0. I don't see anything special with Michael Conlan. I have to be honest with you. I know people might come at me, but I don't. I know he's only had 12 fights, but I can normally see it. I don't see anything special. I don't go, oh, yeah, give him a couple more fights. I don't see it. I don't see it, people. I stand to be convinced. I want to be convinced because I like him. I think he's a character. We need characters in the sport of boxing, but there's nothing special about him for me. Nothing whatsoever. He was supposed to fight the guy that he lost to in the Olympics, the one that caused all the controversy. They were supposed to get it on, so fingers crossed they can get it on sometime down the line, but I'm not sure. I wait to be convinced. I'm not convinced yet. Chris Jenkins beat Paddy Gallagher. A cut over Jenkins' eye. I think it was in the 9th round. Forced the fight to go to the scorecards. Another fight that went to the scorecards, and Chris Jenkins was ahead at the time. Paddy Gallagher was winning that fight. It's a shame. It's a shame because Chris Jenkins was hanging on. And I do feel like another round or so and Paddy Gallagher might have even got the stoppage. So that's a shame. Again, will they do that one? I don't know. We'll see. Paddy Gallagher started very slow in that fight. He had a fight, I think about 5 weeks ago. So he just didn't look as sharp. And then he started to get his 2nd win. But he lost. Luke Keeler beat Luis Arias in a crossroads fight. Good win for him. Moving over to the next gen card put on by Matchroom. I think it was on Friday, wasn't it? On Friday. Anthony Fowler beat Brian Rose. Good fight. You know, again, I feel like I should call myself Critical Addy. Anthony Fowler is not going to be what I thought he was going to be. He's not going to be that guy, is he? I don't know why, but I thought he might be a bit Carl Froch. I don't know why. He's just not going to be that person. Brian Rose is 5 years past his best, and Brian Rose has taken him to a decision in which was a decent fight. And no disrespect to Brian Rose either, I'm just stating facts here. I remember when Brian Rose fought Demetrius Andrade for a world title fight. That must have been about 5-6 years ago. That's where Brian Rose was 5-6 years ago. And he's taken Anthony Fowler to a decision. Anthony Fowler, I thought, would be head and shoulders above Fitzgerald, Cheeseman, Rose. He's not. Obviously, he got beat by Fitzgerald. I think he'll get beat again by Fitzgerald. So it's a good win. But in terms of where I thought he was when he was coming through, or where I thought he would be, he's not going to get there, which is a shame. Again, want to be proved wrong, just my own thoughts. Lewis Ritson and Robbie Davies both got wins against Polish cab drivers. Looks like they're going to meet. Did you see their little altercation backstage? Well, I think Robbie Davies called Lewis Ritson a fucking melt. Yeah, fucking melt. Did he call him a melt or a maggot? I think he might have called him a melt and a maggot. Melt and a maggot, taking a piss. So it looks like those two will get it on. I like Lewis Ritson. I hope he wins, to be honest with you, but it's a good fight. Martin Bakole got a win as well, first round knockout. Is Martin Bakole a British citizen? I'm not trying to call immigration anyone. I'm just asking the question. Because if he is, I guess he might go the British title route. I don't know if he is. I'm just asking. And I'm guessing you have to be a British citizen. You can't just be fighting in Britain to fight for the British title. He asked. He should know, but I don't know. So it'll be good to see him go that route. You know, I like that kind of traditional route. I can't see Daniel Dubois defending that belt 3 times to keep it outright. I just can't see him doing it. I think they'll move him quickly. So Martin Bakole might want to do that route. But now with all these sort of regular and international belts, people just don't care about the British title anymore. And it's a shame. They have to kind of bring a bit of respect back on the British title name. That's what they need to do. All right, let's get to some of the news. I'm going to start with something fucking disgusting and revolting and something that makes my stomach turn just because I want to get it out of the way very soon. I didn't even want to talk about it, but it is boxing-ish related news, and that's Carlos Baldomir, former world champion. I don't know if you guys remember, beat Zab Judah, lost to Floyd Mayweather. He's been sentenced to 18 years in jail for sexual abuse of his daughter. Fucking disgusting bastard. 18 years is just not enough. I mean, 18 years is not enough. Like, the judicial system around the world, I mean, people get 18 years. I'm not defending these crimes at all, by the way, but people get 18 years for selling drugs. This guy has got 18 years for sexual abuse of his daughter, who, by the way, I think the wife testified and said the daughter at the time was around 7 or 8. Moving on very swiftly, Marcus Maidana has said he's willing to fight again. Remember, he had this, I don't know, comeback of sorts where he went down from like 220 pounds. So I think he got down to as low as 175. And then he just said, nah, can't do it. Call it quits. Well, he said he's willing to fight again, but only against Manny Pacquiao. So basically what he's trying to say is, I will fight again, but for $10 million. Marcus Maidana, I love you, my man. Just stay retired. Stay retired, eat your meat, drink your alcohol, smoke your cigars, and live that good life. All right, Canelo Alvarez stripped of the IBF title, was not happy. He's released a few statements saying he doesn't know what's going on, basically attacking the Golden Boy matchmaker. It is a strange one, this whole situation with Canelo. Is he fighting Demetrius Andrade? It's almost like the Zone, and he's obviously signed this massive money deal where he's getting paid something like $35 million a fight. It's almost like they dictate who he fights, and he's not used to it. I don't think they were uber happy with the Derevchenko fight. They weren't. They know that probably doesn't equate to a lot of sign-ups. It should, because it's Canelo, but a lot of people that had signed up to watch Canelo anyway have already signed up. So it doesn't equate to more sign-ups, does it? If that makes any sense. And I just don't think they were very happy with Derevchenko. And as such, I think negotiations for Derevchenko versus Canelo just stalled to the point where Golden Boy was like, have your belt. And I think Canelo is unhappy about being stripped. I think he's unhappy about A, being stripped, and B, not fighting Derevchenko. Because let's be honest, Derevchenko, I think, is an easier fight stylistically for him than maybe the Demetrius Andrade fight, which is what they're talking about. So he's not happy with the matchmaker. He's not happy with Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know how the situation kind of irons itself out, but he has been stripped. It does look like he's going to fight Demetrius Andrade. And I'm happy that he's not happy about losing a belt. I'd hate to think that it gets to a situation where boxers just all care about money and not belts. You want to think there's some sort of common ground there. So that's good. All right, I spoke about this during the week, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But Tyson Fury's next opponent is rumoured to be Otto Wallin. Terms have been agreed. No one's denying that, so I guess terms have been agreed. You know how I feel about this. It's just a disgrace, isn't it? I said already that I think Tyson Fury's taken the piss. Some of his fans are actually convinced that this is okay. I was going back and forth with someone over Twitter, and they were like, it's okay, this is a warm-up fight for Deontay Wilder. So he's already convinced his fans that this type of opponent for the #1 heavyweight in the world is okay. If it wasn't going to be Otto Wallin, remember we all thought it was going to be Charles, or I did anyway, thought it was going to be either Charles Martin or Trevor Bryant. That was wrong. If it wasn't going to be Otto Wallin, we heard the next person in line was Dupas. That's the level of opponents that Tyson Fury is willing to fight, the people's champ. All right, this news broke this week as well. Big news this side of the pond anyway. This side of the pond. But you know what I mean. Billy Joe Saunders has left Frank Warren. That was big news. I didn't expect it. I'll be lying to you. I mean, yes, Frank hasn't delivered. Although he's tried. We know about the Callum Smith offer for over £1 million. But I didn't expect this split. Will he go to DAZN and Matchroom, Eddie Hearn? I think so. I think it's a good move for Billy Joe Saunders. What is he, 29 years old? He needs these big fights. He just needs, his name at least needs to be brought up by fellow middleweights or super middleweights, the elite ones. He's not even getting a mention. No one's talking about him. No one. Callum Smith's talking about Canelo. Caleb Plant's talking about fighting Benavidez. Golovkin's talking about fighting Canelo. Derevchenko's talking about fighting Canelo. Demetrius Andrade is mentioned. No one's mentioning Billy Joe Saunders' name in anything. So it's about time his name somehow gets dropped into the mix. And I think Eddie Hearn and Matchroom can do that. Oscar Valdez to vacate his WBO featherweight title. Interesting. Purse bids were actually done this week for Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson for that belt. Top Rank won with a bid of $1.5 million. But he's decided to vacate. He doesn't want that fight. I don't know. It's a fight he probably could lose. He wants to go up to 130 pounds. It's strange because he talks about obviously struggling with the weight, now wanting to go up. But this is a guy 3 months ago who wanted Josh Warrington, wanted Leo Santa Cruz, all at 126. And now Shakur Stevenson comes on. It's like, well, no, struggling with the weight, want to go up to 130. I'm not trying to say he's ducking, but you wanted other guys at 126, but you don't want Shakur Stevenson. Very interesting. A fight that was mentioned this week, a random fight. I don't know if it's signed, sealed, and delivered, but it was a bit random. Lee Selby versus Ricky Burns. This fight was talked about for September, was it September 7th? So if it is going to happen, it does need to be signed now, I guess. Fight I never ever could have predicted happening. I guess mainly because there have been, 2 or 3 weight classes apart. Strange fight. I'm guessing it's going to be at 135. Ricky Burns, at certain levels, Ricky Burns still looks very good. Against Scott Cardle, looked very good, didn't he? When he steps up just a little bit, he doesn't look so good. Although he put in a good performance against Figueroa about a year ago. Must have been a bit longer than a year. Lee Selby at 135. Ricky Burns is quite big for 135. Remember, Ricky Burns, I think, has fought at 140 as well. So it's a good fight. I think I'd favour Ricky Burns just. But it is a good fight. All right, let's quickly go over this story again. We all know the situation right now, but it did come out this week that Dillian Whyte had passed or completed, which is important, completed his VADA testing. Again, I did find it strange. I made a video talking about it. How can you complete VADA testing when supposedly Dillian Whyte is in the all year round clean boxing program, which is all year round drug testing? Is it that they do more drug testing in the lead up to a big fight, or is this all year round drug testing just a smokescreen? I don't know. But he has completed his VADA testing. I don't necessarily care about that. I care about the UCAD B sample. We're still waiting on that. I don't know why and how it takes so long for a B sample. I mean, the fight was, remember, his A sample, or all this issue, was actually before the Oscar Rivas fight. So why does it take so long to test the same amount of blood and piss? Strange. Very, very strange. We wait for the conclusion. All right, Savannah Marshall signed with Matchroom. To be honest, female boxing just needs the biggest injection of anything. The biggest injection of anything in the UK. It is absolutely dead. It really is. And this is no disrespect. I think Savannah Marshall is a great boxer. She was the last person, I think, to beat Clarissa Shields. She beat her... My memory is not great. Was it the world champs? I'm going to say it was the world champs. So obviously they're going to try and make that fight and build that fight up. It just needs something here. For example, Nicola Adams has got a press conference, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday with Daniel Dubois. I even forgot about Nicola Adams. She's been elevated, by the way, to full champion. I don't know, I think it's flyweight. I forgot all about her. They need to showcase female boxing a lot more. They really do. I mean, I don't know. When Eddie Hearn signed Katie Taylor, I thought it was liftoff. I don't know why. I stand corrected if I'm wrong here. But has she headlined a show back home yet? Has she? I hope she has. If she hasn't, it says a lot, doesn't it? Fight announcement this week. Charlie Edwards is going to take on Martinez on the undercard of this Luke Campbell, Vasyl Lomachenko card. Obviously a card that now includes Hughie Fury and Povetkin. So they are stacking this card. For those of you that don't know Martinez, he actually beat Andrew Selby about 5 months ago in, I think it was Argentina. Could be wrong. I think it was Argentina. Might have been Mexico. I think it might have been Argentina. So tough fight for Charlie Edwards. But again, that card is looking pretty damn good. Let's end on this one. Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, and the venue. Where is this fight going to take place, people? Andy Ruiz was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he obviously told Joe Rogan where the fight will take place. Joe Rogan said it on the podcast. Eddie Hearn has come out and said he knows where the fight's going to take place. This fight isn't happening in Cardiff, is it? If it was going to happen in Cardiff, why not just mention Cardiff? I mean, there's nothing special about fighting in Cardiff, right? We've seen it before. Why not just mention it? Andy Ruiz Jr. did say that he's doing his training camp in Mexico. If you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, again, it's only an hour long, I feel like it gives little hints and clues as to where the fight's going to take place. And it would be strange, correct me if I'm wrong here, to do a fight camp in Mexico if you're fighting in Cardiff. Don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But we know it's not MSG. We know it's not Wembley. We know it's not Tottenham. I'm going to rule out Nigeria. Cardiff or Mexico, innit? Cardiff or Mexico. If it's Mexico, why would AJ go Mexico? He must have been punched too hard in his head, because that is stupid thinking. Anyway, that's This Week in Boxing, people. Peace.